Sophia takes a big step towards getting her hands on Oz. Victor drops his first body, and the Penguin builds his own alliance in a war for Gotham streets. This is The Penguin, episode 6, called Gold Summit. And what makes a series like this really strange is, we know Oz is a bad guy. He's one of Batman's best known villains, but he is the hero of the story, so we root for him to succeed, even if you know they are wrong. Now, in this episode, Oz has the streets flowing with bliss. The new wonder drug idea he stole from Alberto Falcone before he killed him. Now, he's supplying the other crime families and he's getting rich off it. Money is flowing in finally for Oz. But then Salvatore and Sophia put the word out that any other crime families who take money or work with Oz will be handled in their worst way. So Oz now changes tactic and just tells his team, you know what, don't take any money, just flood the streets with bliss, get everybody hooked on it, free hits for everybody on the streets. Now, apart from being a way to bypass those crime families, it kind of enforces Oz's idea of being a man of the people and the saviour of the neighbourhood. Now, in this episode, he demonstrates this again when he's got leverage on a politician at Crown Point where there's no electricity at the moment. He obviously goes to leverage this politician, threatens him with exposure. He doesn't get the electricity up and running in the area, because obviously there are poorer people there who are suffering. Now, apart from finally winning his mum's approval, being remembered as a local legend is something that Penguin really wants. Not just for himself, but also for Victor. Now, speaking of Victor, he has his own trouble this week. Now, he's dealing with one of his old neighbourhood gang leaders called Squid, nicknamed Squid. Now, Squid has noticed that Victor is back in the old neighbourhood, but not only is he back, he's also flashing a lot of money and doing quite well for himself. And you know what? Squid wants in. So he keeps trying, Victor keeps obviously refusing him. So Victor feels himself backed into a corner, and unfortunately he has to take Squid's life. Obviously this is Victor's first time, so he's pretty cut up about the whole thing. So eventually he talks to Penguin about it, and Penguin obviously is quite confident actually, gives him a nice big hug, understands completely what it is, but tells him also, don't worry Victor, it gets easier. Now, moving on, in a moment of clarity, Oz's mum, she knows her Alzheimer's dementia is getting worse, so she asks Oz to promise that if she actually gets to a point of losing her dignity, that he will take her out. Now, Penguin reluctantly agrees, but I don't really think he'll do it. His mum just means too much to him. His mum's his main motivator. He's been trying for years to prove to his mum that he can be somebody in Gotham, and he's finally kind of getting there. So I think you want to keep her around to see him achieve that goal, so she can finally be proud of him. Broadly speaking, it's actually quite a topical area to discuss, quite a tough area to discuss, because at the moment in the UK, Parliament are debating whether assisted dying should be actually decriminalised and made legal under the right circumstances. Should we be allowed to die with dignity when there's no hope of recovering? Or should we always be made to fight on, even if there's no hope? Anyway, moving on, back to the show. Now, Salvatore and Sophia are getting very frustrated because they can't find Oz and no one's talking. You can imagine how this is for them, because basically they really want Oz to feel pain. Let's not forget, Oz killed Sophia's brother Alberto, closest person to her, and lied about it for ages. Let's forget about him helping to get her chucked in Arkham. He killed her brother. And with Salvatore, just last episodes, Oz burnt his wife and his only son. So yeah, they want Oz bad. But the question is, how do you hurt someone who apparently has nothing to lose? He has no one that cares about him or that he cares about. But that's what they thought anyway, until Sophia finds evidence of Eve. Obviously Sophia tracks down Eve, goes to see her, with the intention obviously of killing her to hurt Oz. But these two ladies have a very long and interesting conversation where they obviously kind of like say what they both know about Oz, who he is as a person. And Sophia quickly realizes that Eve is quite solid. She's not someone who's going to betray someone, who's going to turn their back on someone, so she's not going to talk and say where Oz is. So Sophia decides, actually, you know what, I'm going to try a different tact. I'm going to tell you the truth about Oz. And she says a lot of things about Oz, and she's like, you know what, you're not going to tell me anything I don't know about him. Sophia's like, really? Okay. How about this? Did you know Oz knew about your girls that got killed in the 44 Club and helped cover it up for my father? He's like, what, my friends? My girls? And Oz knew this and didn't tell me? Okay, here's where Oz is hiding out. Sophia, newfound information. She goes down to Crown Point to look for obviously Oz. But what does she find? Surprise, surprise. Penguin's mother is still alive. And she's like thinking, aha, I've got you now. I have got you now. Flicking back to the other side of town, Oz kind of understands that he cannot defeat Sophia and Salvatore's family by himself. So he calls a crime summit, all these local crime families, to try and rally them against the big family, Salvatore's family, which is the Moroni family, and Sophia's new Gigante family, formerly the Falcone. Basically trying to rally all the other crime families against them. Now guess what? They all hate Oz. They all don't like Oz. But Oz like, I know you don't like me. I know I've betrayed most of you. I know I've stabbed some of you in the back, But you know what? I'm just a poor kid on the streets from the cute, trying to do better. Those crime families, Salvatore Moroni and Sophia, you know what? They don't care about us. They don't even see us anymore. They even know our names, sort of thing like that. Why should they be in charge? It should be us in charge. So, and the silver tongue he is, Oz, manages to convince all the other crime families to join his alliance against Salvatore and Sophia. So, the battle lines have been drawn. Allies have been chosen, and the war for the streets of Gotham City is about to begin. Can't be certain how it's all going to end. One thing I do know for sure is that at some point, Oz is going to betray all of them. See you next week.